friends and listeners. In today's episode, we are introducing the highly experienced and esteemed Mrs. Tina Boyle Whyte. She has an MS in Education Administration and ABD in the Urban Education Doctoral Program at the University of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She brings years of experience as a teacher, trainer, facilitator, and presenter. Tina has worked in K-12 education for the past 22 years. Throughout the years, she has worked on cutting-edge high school reform and computer science initiatives in the Milwaukee and Wisconsin area. In addition to teaching, Tina provides coaching support and professional development to K-12 teachers and principals. Her coaching support has contributed to the development of pre-licensed to licensed teachers through modeling and teaching best practice strategies with the research-based curriculum in both traditional teaching strategies and the current computer science curriculum. In her multiple roles, practices to examine student work and data for school and team evaluations that yielded school-wide improvement. Concurrently, Tina served 30 years in the United States Air Force Reserves, where she developed leadership skills to develop new leaders to seasoned leaders. Thank you. Tina currently serves as a visiting associate professor at Marquette University in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Most recently, Tina worked as a high school business information technology teacher, where she implemented the computer science track curriculum for West Allis Central High School in West Allis, Wisconsin since 2014. Tina was named Teacher of the Year in the year 2017. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tina has attended both a traditional and mixed Gen Cyber Camp. She worked as a teacher leader for a mixed teacher and student Gen Cyber Camp in the summer of 2018. I see the cybersecurity stuff behind you.
Yes.
Subsequently to successful participation in the camps, Tina joined Dark Enterprises Inc. in 2019 to serve as a camp observer and evaluator Gen Cyber camps throughout the United States. Her role was to provide pedagogical feedback for the success of the Gen Cyber camp. Additionally, she serves as a facilitator for the computer science education curriculum with Code.org, BJC, and Script Strategies CSforALL. In June 2019, Tina has been named Computer Science Ambassador for the CS4All teachers community, where she provides insight and guidance for the development of teachers throughout the community. Tina provides insight on the exploring computer science curriculum as well as provides any current instructional update for successful curriculum implementation. In addition, Tina is a trained script facilitator for Wisconsin. Tina trained in the script curriculum at Purdue University and Seattle, Washington with the CS4All team. Most recently, Tina has been appointed to lead the JROTC CS demonstration project as project director for the CS4All and Air Force Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps partnership. Tina is passionate and committed to developing K industry pipeline opportunities for diverse students from underrepresented populations and communities. Tina, welcome. I'm very excited to speaking with you, and we are so grateful to have you on our show. Let's talk computer science.
Thank you, Sandy. I'm so excited to be here. Listening to that, I was like, wow, I've done a lot, but we'll talk more about how all that came to be. Thank you for having me.
Totally. It will take probably three lifetimes to do what I have read here, and I know you do a lot of other things outside of just computer science, empowering women, empowering underrepresented people.
Yes.
So, how did you become a computer science teacher?
That's a very interesting question. When I went back to the classroom in 2014, I went back as a business information technology teacher working at West Allis Central, West Allis, West Milwaukee in Wisconsin. That's a long city name. But I went back in 2014 after being out of the classroom for a while and I went back to just do business courses. And it was I believe after my first year, it was 2016, I was approached by the academic coordinator for the school district because they wanted to be able to computer science into the classroom. And so after thinking about it, I said, wow, that would be a nice integration because I was teaching web design, graphic design, um, all these design courses that I was doing, and the students were loving video game design. Students loved every moment of what we were doing, and I thought about it. I'm like, computer science. I'd never been a computer science teacher, but mainly business, and this was all because of the work that was done at Marquette University by Dennis Brylow, who really worked hard to get more teachers into computer science in the Wisconsin area. As you know, the numbers of teachers are very small across the country. And so his efforts with pursuing grant funds from the National Science Foundation afforded the opportunity to first do the exploring computer science. So I first implemented exploring computer science in my classroom, and that was a great opportunity to do that. And after I implemented Exploring Computer Science, I believe it was the next year, 2017, that there was an implementation of Advanced Placement Computer Science Principles program where they were looking for somebody to further implement that. And so it became the second implementation after the Exploring Computer Science. So I essentially, that's where I developed the path for the district to get all these computer science courses into the school. And so, with the help of what the work that Dennis Brylow was doing, and with the desire for the district to want someone to do it, and them asking me, it was a perfect combination. And from that point on, I became known as the teacher who was implementing computer science in the district, working with our partner school, Hill High School, Dallas, West Milwaukee.
That's super impressive coming from a business background and switching to teaching computer science. That's awesome. So, can you tell us more about your role at CS for All and your and everything that you have done while you're working with CS for All?
So it's amazing how it all integrates, and so the story continues, and so how it all how it all works together. I had the opportunity after I got into computer science. So now I'm in computer science. I'm teaching as a teacher. We worked with the CSTA organization in the Milwaukee area, the Southeast Milwaukee area, to create this group of teachers. We would go up to the math science or the math conference, but there was a computer science component in there where we were able to spend a day learning about computer science. And so that first year I went, it was just an absolutely amazing experience. But when I went back the second year, after I had been teaching a while, the second year was the 2018 year, I had the opportunity to meet Ruth Farmer, and she spent time talking to the computer science group, and she shared her information around being at the White House. She was a White House appointee. I forget her specific role, but that was the year when I met Ruth Farmer. And prior to that, I had been learning about how to implement script because the computer science for all implementation tool for districts, I had learned how to do that at Purdue, and had wanted to implement that in the Milwaukee Public Schools. That's the major school system in Milwaukee. So going back to when I met Ruth, we learned all about her experience at the White House. She trained us, and we happened to stay in a cabin. It was like she was telling stories at night around her work at the White House. But after that time, I went back and I continued to implement AP Computer Science, um, and continue to do the work around what we wanted to do to support and lift up the Southeast Milwaukee region as it relates to computer science. It was a year, I believe, after that, I had a call from Ruth, and she said, "Hey," she knew I was a military veteran. She said, "Hey, I'm starting a new program. And she said, "Here's the program," and she said, "I'll call you back." And I began working with the development and the implementation of a JROTC, Junior ROTC computer science partnership. And it was set to be October 2019 when she would announce the work that would be occurring as a result of that public private partnership. And that public private partnership, we share the idea because the whole goal was to get an NDAA passed to get more computer science into uh, the JROTC schools around the southeast part of the country. And that was because it was more diverse. And so the announcement occurred. We, at that event, at our summit, we shared that we were going to be implementing this JROTC program, and I would to be the one who would lead this project as a project director. After we announced it, we hit the ground running, and we sought to find 30 schools for this project, where we have 30 schools that was a part of this. Now, the amazing thing is that the JROTC, the arm of the school, in the southeast Wisconsin, it had high diversity, had high numbers of females, high diverse populations, and it just really was getting at that underrepresented population. And so by February, we had all the schools that we wanted to have. We invited them out for a pre-Hill visit, and it was 30 schools across 16 states that we had come to. We invited them out to do Capitol Hill visits, where we went to senatorial and representatives' offices, and we shared the work that we were looking to do in the JROTC contingency or part of the school. And we were really excited. That gave us momentum to get the movement to start the legislative process for what we know as today. We just successfully achieved funding for approximately $13 million across Air Force, Marines, Army, and Navy. And $13 million is the first set of appropriations. And I'm giving you the full story. It's the first set of appropriations. So now going forward, it is law, and it was integrated in the NDA, the Department of Defense appropriations, and all the legalese, that this is officially uh, funding that is set aside for the JROTC um, computer science, and it's wrapped into STEM, but it's specifically for the work that we do with JROTC schools. And the goal is really to get advanced placement computer science principles into high schools where junior ROTC is. And so that's the work that I do. I lead that project. That was a mouthful, huh?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I would like to learn more about me. I could listen to you for all day and learn about this. What you accomplished is awesome. I think you're gonna change so many, or you're already changing so many people's lives for good,
Thank
giving them better life. Awesome,
you.
right? What
Thank you.
else you can do? I'm beyond impressed.
Thank you.
So, what do you think are some best strategies to teach computer science?
So, when I think about teaching computer science, so the work that, and I'll talk a little bit about both the work that we do in the JROD CCS demonstration project, we train the teachers. So once we get the schools on board, we train the teachers. We give them the training that they need, and we are curriculum agnostic, meaning that we don't choose the curriculum that they would use to implement it in their classroom. They have that leverage to be able to make a decision. But um, I guess I have a personal um, connection to the code.org curriculum. I used it as a classroom teacher. It was really a easy curriculum to grasp, but they gave the concepts and they gave the opportunity for practical application that was easy on ramp for students who had never had AP computer science to enter in and experience AP on a different level. And it was just an amazing opportunity for leveling the playing field for those who were not traditional AP students. And so, from a personal implementer, I personally like code.org. I also and I am a facilitator for that curriculum as well. I also like BJC. It's a little more rigorous. It's a great curriculum that was created out of Berkeley. I believe it was Berkeley and UNC Chapel. Hopefully, I don't get those words wrong, those colleges mixed up. But Beauty and Joy of Computing were implemented, and I am a facilitator for that, but that has another level of rigors. So if there's a school that already has AP Computer Science in it, and they wanted to implement it and they want the next level of rigor, I would recommend that. But as far as AP Computer Science principles and code.org, that is one curriculum that I really liked as a teacher, and the students that I had, they were great. They loved it, and they were able to easily attain it. It had a lot of cooperative learning. It had strategies where we did activities, we did programming. So it was a great on ramp for a school like mine in urban Milwaukee.
Okay, that sounds really good. So, I mean, since you deal with so many schools and you have done with so many organizations that is moving computer science education, how do you motivate and encourage teachers to get more involved like you in CS?
After being approached, I just fell in love with everything computer science. The structure of learning, like the pedagogical approaches of computer science principles, is everything collaborative learning, hands-on learning, kinesthetic learning, everything. Um, as you bring things together as a teacher, that computer science principles is just kind of like an ideal way to bring it. And I have to go back to code.org and the way that they set up their curriculum. They have videos, they have programs, they have apps you can build. And again, you know, I have to be agnostic for the greater good, but personally, I use that curriculum to really help me to immerse myself in learning more about computer science. And so, how I would motivate, I talk to teachers now who are math teachers and um, who are other subjects, and even students that I encounter at Marquette. I encourage them to consider computer science, especially if they've done math or they want something to have for their students to, the field is wide open. So, it's almost kind of like an obligation with the field being wide open. The country has a great need for so many individuals. So I come from that perspective that we almost have an obligation to do this for our nation. It's almost becoming a critical security issue. That's the need, and so and it's just good for kids. It's just good for kids to learn how to problem solve, how to critically think, how to really get in and start looking at things in a very different way. And so, using those two approaches, I really encourage teachers to navigate if they can into that direction, as well as families. I did a code night, and when I was at West Dallas, West Milwaukee Central. I did a code night with families, and it was an amazing experience. The families and the students came and they coded together, and it was a component that we did off of code.org. And I gave the students certificates, and we celebrated, and we had a speaker from industry. It was just a wonderful opportunity to get more people understanding what computer science is and the impact of computer science on our society.
That's really cool. I mean, that sounds so much fun, like for kids and the parents, and encouraging them more. So,
It
like a
was
fun
amazing.
thing. Yep, yeah. That takes away the typical image that computer science has, the nerdiness, but can can have fun with that.
You can.
So I have one final question, a fun question. So if you had the power to help enhance the CS technology education system, and if you have a magic wand, what would be the first step you would enforce?
Wow. The magic wand. My desire is to see more a more diverse population. We're getting there. With the work that we've learned about. Um, access is increasing, but participation is slower to that number is not rising as high as or is as fast as it can be. And so I'm really passionate about underrepresented populations, really getting those diverse students into the field. I had the opportunity to meet a gentleman, and I'm going to divert to help you understand what I'm talking about. And it brought in my perspective a gentleman who was blind and he worked in IT. And being able to work in IT as someone who was blind really creates that understanding for that population. And so when I think about the population of, I'm an African American female in the field and looking to grow in the field with the work that I'm doing with CS education and the practical piece. But if I can get more underrep students that are from underrepresented populations, it's growing with the Latinx and Black and they call it the BIPOC, Black, Indigenous people of color. If those students and those voices were able to come to the table, I think that that diversity that is needed and will be needed is going to give just the broader scope of what we'll need in days to come. There's so many things about AI and how AI recognizes people of color. It's been said that they are represented as gorillas or just all kinds of different things. There's studies out there, and people are writing about this more. But we need people of color to be able to program and make sure that everything that we do in computer science, technology, AI, that we're represented so that we don't have those areas of discrimination with AI or discriminatory algorithms. We want to just be able to have that diversity piece and that equity piece to represent all people, so that the society can benefit from that diversity, even in computer science.
Yep, totally agree. We definitely need that magic wand. It's like these days, computer science is foundational to every industry and field of study. It's not an optional skill for anyone, but the representation and participation is far from balanced.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to making that contribution.
Yeah, and you are a great role model. People need to see more that it's common. Everyone can do it, should
I
do it.
I agree, and it is needed.
Yep. Thank you so much, Ms. White, for your time. And if this is a completely optional question, if any of our listener would like to get in contact with you, how can they get in contact with you?
They can reach me at tina@csforall.org. Um, they can contact me. Email is always best, but if they wanted to contact me, my number is 414-236-1343. I would love to talk to anybody to talk about how we can make a difference. We're looking to make a difference for students in the Milwaukee area, as well as nationally. And I would love to be a thought partner with someone who is willing to do that. Thank you so much, Sandy.
Awesome. Thank you, Tina.